Let's just pause for a second. Climate change news is everywhere. But what is it exactly? Well, it's not a new phenomenon. In fact, for millions of years, the Earth has experienced cycles of heating up and cooling down. Climatologists refer to the cold periods in Earth's history as ice ages or glacials, and warmer periods as interglacials. Now, for the science. Using models and data from fossilized plankton to determine the temperature during the most recent ice age, scientists have predicted from 19,000 to 23,000 years ago, the global average temperature was about 46 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 11 degrees Fahrenheit or 6 degrees Celsius colder than the global average temperature of the 20th century. Now, I know that this might not seem like a lot, but the world would have looked very different during this period of time, with miles of icy glaciers stretching across parts of Europe, Asia, South and North America. This might seem irrelevant in the 21st century, right? Wrong. Knowing the temperature of the last ice age matters because it is used to calculate climate sensitivity, meaning how much the global temperature shifts in response to atmospheric carbon. Okay, so what is atmospheric carbon? Carbon dioxide is added to the atmosphere naturally when organisms respire or decompose, forest fires occur, and volcanoes erupt. But here's the thing. Carbon dioxide is also added to the atmosphere through human activity. Atmospheric carbon dioxide levels during the last ice age were about 180 parts per million, which is very low. Before the Industrial Revolution, levels rose to about 280 parts per million, and today they've reached 415 parts per million. Carbon dioxide concentrations are rising mostly because of the fossil fuels that people are burning for energy. Fossil fuels like coal and oil contain carbon that plants pulled out of the atmosphere through photosynthesis over many millions of years. In short, we are returning that carbon to the atmosphere in just a few hundred. And because we are putting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere at a faster rate than natural processes can remove it, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increases every year. This results in global warming. So, what would Earth look like if the climate was to get warmer, say by an average global temperature of 3 degrees Celsius? For much of the world, nothing like this. A rise of 3 degrees Celsius in global temperatures above pre-industrial levels by 2100 would be disastrous. Its effects would be felt differently around the world, but nowhere would be immune. Prolonged heat waves, droughts, and extreme weather events could all become increasingly common and severe. This would have catastrophic repercussions for the whole ecosystem. Yes, that includes you. You're right, Earth will survive. I mean, she's come this far, hasn't she? But everything that humankind has built is adapted to the climate we have today. And if the average global temperature were to rise by 3 degrees Celsius in this century, it would be difficult to change the infrastructure of society quickly enough to maintain how and where we live in response to such extreme events. We would see cities submerged in water, communities unable to grow crops, a rise in climate refugees, a major increase in disparities between the rich and poor. The list goes on. Okay, what preventative measures are being put in place to slow down global warming then? In this series, we will be exploring what is one of the most complex issues facing society today. And in order to answer this question, we will need to cover a broad variety of topics across science, economics, society, and politics. Until next time, remember, together we can make a difference.